Everyone set? Want to make sure. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Too many of our fellow New Yorkers feel a desperation too often in their lives. To my critics who say that the only time I stop speaking about the affordability crisis is to pivot to the cost of living crisis, for once I am not speaking about what New Yorkers feel when they cannot afford to buy groceries or pay for the public transit that carries them across the city. I speak instead of a desperation that nearly every New Yorker holds, or instead struggles to hold. It is a feeling that we all know too well. You're out in the city, the sun is out, maybe you're running an errand, spending a weekend afternoon with friends, or just going for a walk. And then suddenly you feel it. You have to go to the bathroom. In a city that has everything, the one thing that is often impossible to find is a public bathroom. In the greatest city in the world, you should not have to spend $9 to buy a coffee just to be able to find a little relief. And I've spoken about my desire to make our city more affordable so that dignity no longer feels so remote and inaccessible to New Yorkers. I seek to improve our public infrastructure with a similar goal so that people can feel free to travel throughout and live within this city safely, joyfully, and without anxiety no matter how much money they earn. And since I took office, we have already achieved significant progress in that purpose. We fixed the Williamsburg Bridge bump that has been the cause of so many bicycle mishaps. We pledged to complete the McGinnis Boulevard redesign in the complete fashion that was initially promised, improving the lives of countless Greenpointers. And today, we are making another great stride in the enduring work of improving our public realm. I'm so proud to be here in West Harlem alongside Speaker Menon, Councilmember Abreu, Assemblymember Jordan Wright, as we announce this new pilot program to majorly scale up the number of public restrooms in our city. We are announcing the launch of a new program to expand access to public bathrooms across the 5 boroughs, committing $4 million to a request for proposals for high-quality, modular public restrooms. Right now, there are nearly 1,000 public restrooms in New York City. That is one public bathroom for 8,500 residents. Why aren't there more restrooms in our city? Well, there's a lot of infrastructure underneath our feet. And instead, toilets mean finding places to go. Installing them means finding sewer lines and water hookups. This pilot, however, will allow us to install public bathrooms even where we cannot drill into the bowels of the city. We are also here today to celebrate more immediate public relief. I stand here alongside Speaker Menon as we take the final steps to install an automatic public toilet right here on this very site. I'm delighted to be here to sign a public letter of support for this project, and I hope it will be the first of many. This is not just an announcement, because today, my friends, we are actually doing our civic duty. I think of the New Yorkers for whom this will make a meaningful difference in their lives. I think of the deliveristas who work across the city without having an office to go back to. I think about the parents whose child is on the verge of having an immediate emergency, and they are frantically looking for anywhere that they can go. I think about New Yorkers for whom this is just something that they feel in the moment that they're crossing 125th Street and 12th Avenue. And I want to say thank you to everyone, our speaker, council member, assembly member, our DOT commissioner, the public servants who are all here with us today, and the people of the city who have worked tirelessly to get to this point. And I also include within that Councilmember Sandy Nurse, for whom the issue of public bathrooms has long been a focus. Every day, what we are proving is that government can get right to work, and that our leaders can make progress quickly, and that leadership means putting working people first so that we can include and ensure that working people's lives are at the heart of that progress. There will always be more to be done, because while this may not be the most glamorous side of governance, it is also the work that will be felt in the day-to-day lives of New Yorkers for years to come. Thank you so much. I now hand it over to our Speaker, Julie Menon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. It's great to be here with the mayor, with my colleague, Councilmember Sean Abreu, with Assemblymember Jordan Wright, our DOT commissioner. Thrilled to be here with all of you. New Yorkers should not have to be worried about where to go when they have to go. And thanks to the mayor and Councilmember Abreu, we are literally flushing that worry away. People don't want to complain about bathrooms, and I get that. I'm a mom, and as a mom of 4 kids, there were so many times when my kids had to go to the bathroom, and when they gotta go, and you don't have a lot of time to find a bathroom. The council's been working on this issue, and I really want to shout out my colleague, Council Member Sandy Nurse, for her leadership. The council passed a bill last year that would double the number of bathrooms from 1,100, which is what they are right now. And if you think about it, in a city greater than 8.5 million people, to have 1,100 public bathrooms is really shameful. There are more public bathrooms per capita in cities like San Diego and Denver and St. Louis, and cities all across the country have more bathrooms per capita than we do. And so that is really what we're doing today. In talking about what the mayor mentioned about the RFP, this is incredibly exciting because before there had only been 6 public bathrooms that had been built under this previous contract. And now, thanks to this RFP, we're really changing that because we're going to be able to not have the issue of having to drill 5 to 10 feet down by having these new modular bathrooms. So it's a very, very exciting day. And so I'm thrilled to be here today because at the end of the day, we want to make this city a more livable city. And by making it a more livable city, it means making it easier for New Yorkers to access a public bathroom. So it's my pleasure now to introduce my colleague whose district we're in, Councilmember Sean Abreu.
I want to thank Mayor Mamdani, a former resident of District 7, for supporting our office's request to put an automatic public toilet here in West Harlem, and for Speaker Menin's support of projects like it citywide. This investment is simple, but powerful and practical, and it will help make sure that our city works for everyone. We've all experienced it. You're out about enjoying your day, you're having a good time, but then our day comes to a full stop because somebody has to go to the bathroom, and the only place to do it is home. The fun is over, the shopping trip is over, your whole day is over. It doesn't have to be this way. Every public bathroom brings dignity and accessibility to its location, meaning New Yorkers can be out enjoying their neighborhoods more. New Yorkers weren't meant to be cooped up. We were meant to be out with our neighbors, exploring our parks, getting to know our local businesses. This is how we protect our city for everyone. Older adults talking on a bench, children running around the playground. Everybody participates. Public bathrooms are part of how we make it happen, and Mayor Mamdani has it right. We have to protect our public space and prioritize people in the process, prioritize people in the public realm. Trash containerization, expanding public bathrooms, street redesign to improve pedestrian safety. We can do it all. Mayor Mamdani and Speaker Menin are going to make sure we do. I truly cannot ask for better partners when it comes to investing in Harlem. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we're going to sign over here.
We'll start with on-topic questions about the letter. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Hi.
You said this is an on-topic first, or can I do an off-topic? On-topic, I mean, what are your thoughts about this? Have you heard personal complaints from New Yorkers about the lack of restrooms? And I do have an off-topic that I'd like to get to.
I can tell you that I've felt this myself as a New Yorker. I felt this when I was growing up in this city as a New Yorker. As the council member said, I grew up in this district, not too far away from here. I remember coming just across the street to Fairway many a time and enjoying putting on my black puffer jacket as we went into the freezer room. And I've also felt this as the mayor, where we've had to find a public bathroom wherever we can, and you can't find one oftentimes. Instead, you look for the closest restaurant and you apologize and ask, is it possible if we could use your bathroom? And I think that this is something that the city has often forced New Yorkers into. It's not actually a fact of life in the city. It doesn't have to be. I think as the speaker said, you can look at other cities across the world and across the country, and you find that there are far more public bathrooms per capita. And for too long, the cost of public bathrooms has been that which is prohibitive to scale up. We're talking about bathrooms north of $1 million per unit. And what we are announcing today is not just following through on building a automatic public bathroom right here on this site, but also the issuing of an RFP that would be asking for modular public bathrooms whose cost would be far less than what we've come to expect in this city. Yeah, we'll just do on topics first. Thank you.
On topic, go ahead.
Good morning. In a perfect world, when do you expect to have all the new modular bathrooms already up and running?
In a perfect world, I would say that, first of all, we have to get each and every day towards that. So the point of this today is that there already are bathrooms that the city has had that have been languishing, and we wanted to take the immediate step even before issuing the RFP. So this bathroom is something that we will actually see come online soon. The RFP is going to be something that aims for about 20 to 30 modular toilets. That will be issued, the RFP itself will be issued within the first 100 days, and then the timeline of the process will be laid out there. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you?
First of all, I want to say, this is great because someone works outside.
I'm sorry.
Hi. First of all, I want to say this is really great, for us who work outside.
I'm so glad.
This is a really great provision. Is there anything in place to keep the bathrooms clean? The problem with a lot of public bathrooms around the city is that, they're very unsanitary.
I really appreciate that, and it is also a key part of this bathroom as well as the future bathrooms that we're going to issue RFPs for. With this bathroom specifically, it's self-cleaning and it's limited to 15 minutes. It also will come with maintenance being conducted twice a day as part of the franchise agreement. Thank you.
Hi, Zach, sorry. Yeah, I got a haircut, so it probably looks a bit more like Oliver. So one concern that kind of comes up, and a lot of New Yorkers can be worried sometimes about using public restrooms, especially late at night. They might not feel safe doing so. Do you have any plans or any sort of thoughts looking forward on how you might keep these public restrooms safe, especially, at night, at more dangerous times?
I think this is part of what the council member actually spoke of, that this cannot be the extent of our work when it comes to the public realm. This is one part of what we will do to ensure that New Yorkers not just feel safe as they move around our city, but that they can enjoy and express themselves across the city. And I think that a lot of that comes to do with what is the focus of the city and the council on ensuring the maintenance of these things once they are actually installed. And so for us, a critical part of this is there will be that maintenance twice a day. It is a self-cleaning toilet. You never know in New York City if that's in support or opposition. Yeah, sounds like support. Great. So that's a lot of the focus of what we're doing here, but it'll be a part of a larger vision we have for the public realm. Morning, Annie. How's it going?
Going well, thanks. Two questions, one for you, the mayor, one for you, speaker, on the same topic. For the mayor, do you envision that if and when it is up and running, the Office of Community Safety would play a role in the kinds of incidents we saw that led to NYPD shootings this week? I think you said it's a hypothetical kind of question you don't want to engage in right now, but just to give some more information on what this might look like in practice, if you could address that question.
That is a focus of our administration, and as we continue to look to address the fact that the mental health crisis has become a reality for far too many New Yorkers across the city. And right now what we are doing is asking the NYPD to respond to 200,000 mental health calls on an annual basis. And so while we continue to have discussions internally as to the process that we will take in the establishing of the Department of Community Safety, I can already tell you that we are interviewing top candidates who will be part of setting up that DCS. I think it's harder to speak to hypotheticals, but what I can say is that I truly appreciate the work of the NYPD each and every day in addressing everything that has been put upon them as their responsibility. And we know that officers faced a difficult and dangerous situation in which they acted swiftly. And we know that the safety of New Yorkers is also one that has to be delivered alongside the safety of officers.
In its current form, is the legislation tied to this, sponsored by Lincoln Ressler, something that you would support as it stands right now?
So first of all, Councilmember Ressler has indicated that he's going to reintroduce that legislation. It will go through its normal legislative process. I look forward to speaking to colleagues about it. As the mayor said, and I've been publicly saying this, I believe that we are asking police officers to do too much with too little. What we saw this week in terms of the incidents with the NYPD did a fantastic job, and I really want to salute the officers for all of their hard work. But we are asking officers to do too much with too little, which is why you're seeing an attrition rate in the NYPD each year between 8.25 and 10%. So having officers taking mental health calls and taking that out of their purview is something that would mean that we could make sure that NYPD officers are fighting crime, which has to be one of the main focuses.
Support that bill?
I look forward to the legislative process. As a speaker, we don't really, and this is common for the speaker, you don't get ahead of the legislative process. It will have a hearing where I will be talking to my colleagues, and I look forward to their input.
My name's Amanda, by the way. I don't think I ever said that. My off topic for you is yesterday for the pro-Hamas protests that were happening, there were some people critics that said that you responded a little bit too late. We know that even Mayor Adams responded around 1 p.m. We heard that you responded around 6 p.m. What's your response to that, and what took you so long?
So I actually was asked a question around that same time where I made very clear something that is consistent with my own politics and my own policies, which is not only was that wrong, but also that it has no place in our city. There's no place for support for a terrorist organization in New York City, and I want to say that very clearly to New Yorkers. Hi, how's it going?
Going off of that, I just wanted to ask, you condemned the pro-Hamas chants, and I was just wondering if you had any comment on the Zionist group that was being protest. They were holding an event inside to sell land in occupied parts. I was just wondering, why you didn't condemn both sides, I guess.
Well, sorry, can you say the last part?
If you have a comment on the other side.
Well, I absolutely am in opposition to the sale of land in the occupied West Bank. It's something in violation of international law, and that comes from my belief in the importance of following international law. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.